Welcome from the Mobile World Congress 2015, where we have the Samsung Galaxy S6 and the S6 Edge here in front of us in all the colors, looking beautiful. And we will show you now a few features, comparisons with competitors, and yeah, you can call this a short review, you can call this a full review. Won't be a full review because there's no benchmarks actually on these phones, and I haven't installed any games. Actually, I could install a game, and then we can make this a full review. Before we dive into that, let's just look around the design a little bit so you can see all the colors here. In the middle is the split. We have here the S6 and here the S6 Edge, but I think you can see the difference between the two. Here we have the edges, and here we have just a standard design. The one on the right will cost $150 more, and while I just talk, let me just download a game here for you guys so we can maybe try out the game later. So all of them have Gorilla Glass 4 on the front, 5.1 inch screen, which is quite interesting that this screen is the same size as that one, and they also have the same display resolution with actually 2560 times 1440. So that's really high resolution. We only have seen that on the in the Note 4 till now, and the Note Edge, which I both have here, and we will of course do a comparison with that at the end, also with a few other competitors and the iPhone. So let's leave just those here in the corner, and let's continue a little bit with the design and how the phone looks like, and after the software, not only the hardware. So you can see a little bit like the iPhone, the design on the bottom with the micro USB headset and speaker. On the back we have here the Gorilla Glass. Oh no, I went somewhere in here and this one wants to go away. So you can see on the back we have Gorilla Glass 4, 60 megapixel camera. Still 60 megapixel camera, but now the sensor is actually better, and we have a f1.9, so on the front and the back. So these have 5 megapixels camera on the front, only a single flash, and also here a reader that can check your heart rate, as we have seen with the S5 in the version last year. Also, you can see that these are actually all the colors that will be available in the store, but here we have a video on that also, so just check that out if you want to hear more about the colors and the names. So we have here the nano SIM card slot on the regular one on the side, on the other one on the Edge one on the top, on and off switch here on the side, so you can nicely press it just with your thumb when you have it in your hand, with your right thumb at least. Then you have here the infrared port, there is the SIM card slot I told you guys about, and the microphone of course. On the other side we have here the volume rocker, and you have already seen the bottom. Let's go back to the back again, where we have, as I said, also Gorilla Glass on the back and the front. And we actually chose the white one because this looks the nicest in front of the camera usually. And yeah, you have seen the animation here of the lock screen, which is looking quite nice. And that's the new bubble lock screen, you could say. So we still have here the button on the bottom for going back and the last apps, and also here the home button, which is quite interesting because with double clicking it, you will open up the camera. Quite cool. And you can now see here the quality of the 5 megapixel front camera, where we have, as I said, f1.9 and a really good picture quality here. And it's really also nice because it's wide angle, a real wide angle camera, so a lot of people could fit in your screen to the left, on your both sides, and also when you hold it a little bit further away, even more people would fit in here if you would shoot selfies. You can see also I look a little bit younger here in the picture because I think the beauty mode is on. I can make my wrinkles go all away, but more about that in just a second when we go through all the settings. On the other side first, also you can see here the details even on my camera lens, and it looks really quite nice. So let me actually go here to the settings and show you guys that we really have a few things that we can set up. Let me actually flip that around. So we have here the picture size. Actually, let me go to the back camera, and then it's even more interesting. So you can see we have the 60 megapixel camera. You can shoot up to 4K videos here, which is really awesome, and Full HD also with 60 frames, which is really nice, of course. Then we have stabilization, which you can turn on, but it's no optical stabilization here. Then we have all the other features that actually are not that new, and it's really not that long of a list for settings, because most of the settings you can actually do right here on the screen, and you can also just hit the mode button and then download a few other things, like for example slow motion, fast motion, and other things here that could be interesting. And you can even download more if you would want that, and that's a little bit like the feature here, or it looks a little bit like you have seen it with HTC, but Samsung is just saying they want to make it simpler with not just buttons but also text here for every icon now, so everybody can read it or understand it. But for example, the HDR on is really tiny, and you can also make these go away if you don't want to use them. So you can see now here the quality of the camera in the back. Let me just shoot a quick picture here, for example, of the rack of the smartphones back there. And you can see it's really fast. It's not that fast if you really want to focus it, but it's really a really nice and fast camera here in the Samsung Galaxy S6 on the front and the back. And we can of course see the results after that. If you hit the button of course a few times, not all of them will be sharp, all the pictures, but if you concentrate on the picture, you can see that it's, or on the focus, it's really a nice camera where we can see all the little scratches, maybe even on the Note 4 that I have dented in there, sadly. So that about the camera. I hope I gave you some information about that. Let's just go here a little bit more through the software, where we have Android 5.0 Lollipop here installed, which means the latest Android that's out there right now. Actually, all the other, well, not all the other phones, but a lot of other Samsung phones will also get the update. But this is one of the first Samsungs with Lollipop and the latest TouchWiz, which is actually looking like the last TouchWiz. You can see it here when I drag this down, a few notifications, and actually the 2-finger swipe down doesn't work anymore. That's quite interesting. It's always the same thing with 1 and 2 fingers. You can also say clear all, and yeah, let's just go back here. What we also have now in here is when you just go close with your finger to a picture, maybe it's turned off right now, but usually if you just go close, you can see already which you would select, and you get a few more options like you have seen with the Note 4. With the stylus that works also now with the finger, and you can see that we don't have any icons anymore, but a lot of text, and you can also go right away to the camera here, which is of course quite nice. Speed wise here there is an Exynos 7420 processor inside with 8 cores, 4 cores with 1.5 GHz and 4 cores with 2.1 GHz, so really fast here. And also fingerprint reader can't be missing, so you can still use your fingerprint here on the bottom by just swiping over it to use not only with PayPal but also with Samsung Pay, which is a Visa and MasterCard certified service, a little bit like Apple Pay. So let's go back here into the apps, where you can see that there's really not much installed by Samsung. Luckily, a few Microsoft apps are new, social apps are also new here, and we also have here, as you can see, Google in a folder, and there is all the apps that I usually use, but of course more are coming up. So when you lock the device and unlock it, you will see that we have of course notifications. You can press here the button to see a little bit more. You can just unlock it by here swiping. Actually, I wanted to press this, and then you can see here a little bit more information on these, or just go back and clear, or you can of course open the camera and the phone button if you would want, so you can call directly also somebody. You don't have to look for your phone icon on the main menu when you're in there somewhere. So let's go back into the apps and let's see what Samsung has installed more for us, like for example S-Health. Let's see my pulse. It's not that new, but we have to still try it because it's a feature. So let's just go here and we should hit measure, and then you just put your finger on the sensor right here, where you can see that it's blinking red because it's waiting for my finger. And now just try to keep still and quiet. Quiet should mean I'm not talking, but of course I have to talk because this is a review. And also, yeah, my pulse will be, or my heart rate will be then a little bit higher. That's alright. So we are almost done here with my heart rate, 105. Holy shit, that's high. Why? But maybe I'm excited for doing this video. Maybe I'm excited having the S6 and S6 Edge in my hands. Actually, no, not that much, because I've seen them the whole week here at Mobile World Congress, using them a few times. And you can see I like to use it, but I still don't like these colory icons, and everything is so squeaky and strange looking. So this much about the apps. Let's go here a little bit into the settings part, where you can see then that I have been looking for the screen time out, which you can do up here with the search. But this looks all the same as with the S5, for example. Not much to see, except I can show you guys that we have Android 5.0 Lollipop. Yeah, looking cool. G920F is the name of the device itself. 925F is the Edge. They will game a little bit in a second. Otherwise, as I said, not much change with Lollipop or this phone in terms of settings. Can't show anything new here. The only new thing I can show you guys actually is on the Edge, where we can of course set up here the Edge things. Let me just change here the language really quickly from German to English, I mean. So since this is a review of both, the only new thing about the Edge is actually that we can show here now contacts, which is quite interesting, because That's a feature that maybe some people bought and you want to see your frequently used contacts. You can add here 5 people to my people. You can have an alert when picking up, and what's also interesting is that you can set the color, of course, on who gets what color. When you go into my people, you can say Luisa should get a different color. And what's quite interesting is also that when you drag this in, you can see here that it's orange, and when I would put it down, then it would also show me here the color on the side when that person is calling from that 5 people. So yeah, that's also quite interesting feature. But there, otherwise, the Edge has lost a few features compared to the regular Note 4 or the Note Edge, because when you go here into the settings and to the Edge screen settings, you can see that we only have the Edge light I was telling you about. You see it here on the top. People Edge, select notifications, information stream, night clock, and so on. These are the only things that you can set up. Like for example, information stream. It's quite interesting that when the device is turned off, you can just swipe here on the side, and then you will see the time and a few notifications or information about some things that are happening during the day. And you can scroll here a bit through, like Twitter and Yahoo. But when you are in the device itself, there is no notifications, anything like that here on the side, except for here the people that you can call. So there's, as I said, not much else to show you guys, except for let's compare it a little bit here with the Note Edge. You can see that size-wise, of course, it's bigger, and you only have one edge here on the side, but the edge is a little bit bigger compared to the iPhone. 4.7 inches versus 5.1 inches. Same size, interestingly, but also design-wise it's pretty similar, as you can see on the bottom. And also the iPhone is thicker with 6.9mm, the Samsung has 6.8mm, and of course complete different back cover. Compared to the LG G3, which has a 5.5-inch screen, they're all again the same size, but in thickness the LG is of course thicker. And actually, I didn't forget, there's wireless charging built into Samsung Galaxy S6, which is really awesome, but the 2600 mAh battery is not that big compared to the 3000 in the LG, where we have a really big screen, and it's a really nice phone for everyday use. And it has also optical mid stabilization in the camera, so you have to decide between these two till LG is coming out with a new one. And then we have here the Note 4, which is also one of the first devices that got the metal case, and you can see again, of course, the size is quite different here and comparable with the Note Edge, of course, but with no edge. And the last one that we want to show you is the HTC One M8. That's also the One M9, because it has the exact same design except for the camera in the back. So we won't compare the camera, but we actually have comparison videos on all of these. So if you want to get into more detail, you can see that. I just want to show you a little bit of design comparisons between a 5-inch device, for example, and a 5.1-inch device. And this has, of course, also dual speakers. So this was it with my first short little review of the Samsung Galaxy S6 and the S6 Edge. Till next time, peace, and again, thank you much for watching. More information, of course, on my YouTube channel when you subscribe to it. So thank you much for watching again. My name is Balazs from the Mobile World Congress 2015.